President Shoukri, as you've often implored, it is necessary to tighten belts during an economic recession. What steps are you taking to tighten the belts of those who can afford it most, such as yourself, the deans, and other top administrators? For example, are you willing to tighten your benefits package, such as paying interest on your over $700,000 interest-free mortgage, and/or are you willing to forego your $81,000 bonus? Thank you.
How would you like to handle these questions? Would you like to respond, or as people are asked questions, how should we proceed?
Issues that are being raised, and I don't mind speaking at least to one of them. There are other issues. I don't think this is the place all the time. Where is the place? The most important thing is by engaging the students in a reasonable way, engaging the community in a reasonable way, but remaining a little bit in the background. It provides me with the opportunity to do the work that will be needed the day the strike ends. I don't want to get engaged in activities that will impede my ability to be the healer and the rebuilder and bringing everybody together at the end of the day. This is very important.
The strike has canceled classes for over 2 months, and it is clear that we will not be able to make up 100% of the lost class time. So are you willing to offer partial tuition refunds to all 50,000 of your students, which you've already answered no? And if not, how do you justify your university's accountability to its student population and wider community by not refunding money for services unrendered?
Costs are, so at the end of the day, to maybe help address some of the, I think it's been largely undergraduate students in terms of the tuition rebate, and you know, well, if you take 55, 60, there's 10% there. First of all, at the end of the day, there will be no new money anywhere that we could perhaps use for that.
You can't compare the mathematical idea of academic integrity to the practical use of it. So the fact that you're saying we get 55 days doesn't really mean much when we've been out of school for 2.5 months. When we return, we have 13 days to prepare for exams. When we have no break between the first semester and the second semester, that is what I call compromisation of academic integrity. It has nothing to do with mathematics. And second point is that there are a lot of students who need to get to work in May. There are a lot of students who simply cannot afford to pay another month's rent to go to school at York. Are you going to do anything for those students? Are you doing anything to remedy that situation?
Clearly we understand that this will create financial hardship for students in many respects, and that's why I encourage any student who is encountering financial hardship, either now or going into May, and we've taken certain steps with regard to those students that are living in residence where there's no additional charge for the residents, but certainly we recognize there are many students that are living in apartments and have rent to pay, to complete a student financial profile. We will certainly try to provide support for those students, and as I also indicated, I'm concerned about what's happening next year because of the very fact that students will be strapped in terms of, potentially, in terms of finding employment at a sufficient level to offset any loss in employment earnings, and that's something we need to factor into next fall's consideration for supporting students. And I think it's also fair to say that the university is also in this very difficult time. We will be making every effort possible to try to support students through this difficult financial hardship. And that includes, and I know this is a nasty word to many in the room, but we have had discussions with OSAP as well to look for extending additional support to students.